Your subconscious mind can give you messages that come out of nowhere to give you more information. They can come out of nowhere because your subconscious mind doesn't have to follow a logical sequence like your conscious mind. So these insights can come out of nowhere and really give you helpful information to catch a cheater or to tell you if someone's lying to you. When I was dealing with my ex, there were all these things that just weren't making sense. I was walking through his hallway one day and my subconscious mind said, "Stop right now." So I stopped. It said, "Look up. I can see that box right there. Grab that box." So I grabbed the box and I found a receipt. And it said, "Snap a picture of that because you might need it." So I took a picture of the receipt from Victoria's Secret, put the box back up, and it had this pink baby doll that he had bought me on it in a size small. But there was also that exact same pink baby doll in a size extra small and a size large. So I realized that he was purchasing these things for multiple women. And then my conscious mind tried to reason it away and thought, oh, well, maybe he ordered the wrong thing and maybe he made a mistake. But my subconscious was giving me this feeling like, oh no, this is right. This is something. And it made me feel like the rug was pulled out from underneath my feet. And it felt like this is really something. And my subconscious mind said, okay, start paying attention. And I asked my subconscious mind to show me everything that I missed. And I got this flash. It was like a movie montage of all these things that hadn't made sense in the past in the relationship, like a candle and a robe and a mentor who helped him set goals in every part of his life except for relationships. Interesting. I thought it was quite interesting at the time. So we went on a road trip and I said to him, "My friend saw you with someone." And then I just shut up. And I just wanted to see what he would say. Because silence is confronting to someone who's guilty, who's got a guilty mind. And so I could see the wheels turning, like, okay, like, damn, what am I going to say? And I could see on his face that he was flipping out because by this time I had detached from him emotionally and I was just wanting to see. Because emotional attachment causes you to not be able to see things clearly. Like, I had seen all these things before, but I hadn't seen them clearly. So I was just asking, my friend saw you with somebody, just to see what he would say. And he said, "Oh, that was probably me out with my mentor." And then he mentioned another woman that he worked with. So I knew that it was his mentor, that he had probably been cheating and buying these things for his mentor and some other person. And then I had a dream. And my subconscious mind showed me that there were other receipts. It said, go find out, because there's more receipts. So I got that information and I realized that he had purchased 14 things at Victoria's Secret. He had spent almost $1,000. And I knew every single item that he had purchased in all the different sizes, all the different extra smalls and all the different larges. And he had given me 2 of those 14 things. That means that there were 12 things that were unaccounted for. And so when we got back, I asked him where they were. I asked him to show me the things that he had to return because he did mention he made a mistake. And he showed me 4 out of those 12 things. And I knew right there that he was cheating. There were 8 things out of 12 that were missing. And then I asked him to come clean and he just couldn't. He kept on lying, kept saying, "I don't know." And that's when I knew who he really was. He wasn't able to tell the truth. And he actually did me a favor there because I think that the relationship that you have with someone who's just cheated and trying to repair after someone's cheated is not going to be fun for either of you. So I was just able to leave that relationship and I was free to start again. And so I did therapy. Sometimes a couple times a week, I got hypnosis to neutralize any emotion that was left over. Because if your emotions are going off like a car alarm all the time, then you'll ignore that alarm. You'll ignore that message that your emotions are trying to give you. So you need to calm your emotions after something like this, or else you'll think that everybody's cheating on you. And so when everything's flat and quiet, and then you get an alarm, then you know that there's something really going on. So you need to be able to distinguish what is a false alarm and what's a real legitimate alarm. And the way you do that is to calm your emotions. You need to prevent, you can't be triggered all the time. You can't have these alarms going off all the time. So that when you are triggered, it's valid, and then there's actually something really wrong. So you can neutralize that alarm through therapy. And because this is part of your emotions, it's part of the subconscious, hypnosis is the best thing. And you don't even have to ruminate and talk about all the crap that you've gone through over and over and over, because your subconscious mind already knows all that stuff. And when you connect to it in a deep, resourceful state, it will neutralize those emotions. Even if your ex has been cheating on you, you can start flat. And when your subconscious mind neutralizes your emotions through hypnosis, you realize that your ex wasn't cheating on you. You realize that your ex is just a cheater, and you really had nothing to do with it. Even if you were like the worst person in the world in that relationship, he still didn't have to cheat. And then I realized that all made sense. All the things that he told me about, that he had a girlfriend for 7.5 years that he stayed with that he wasn't even into. And now it made sense that, okay, that's why you stayed with her, because you had some side chicks going on, but you wanted to look like you were in this respectable relationship for 7 years. And so that all made sense to me now. And then that hypnosis allowed me just to leave the past in the past. So it wasn't out there creating my future. Because if your car alarm is going off all the time, you are going to seem like you're going to seem like a crazy person in your next relationship. So you need to complete the past so that you can talk about the experience like normal, and you're not triggered and there's no emotion. And if you notice, there's no emotion here except for that I'm kind of laughing about it because it just seems kind of funny to me now. And I see all the lessons in what happened. Because when you feel like you've been cheated on, there's a lot of shame there. And you feel so stupid that you couldn't see any of that. And you have distrust for this person, and you kind of feel like that was all a lie, because it was. You weren't even based in reality, and that it wasn't even a real relationship. I don't know what it was, but it wasn't what I thought it was. And now you're mourning something that never was, and you're feeling shitty about something that really never was. And it's like the biggest mind fuck that you're in therapy over this huge lie, because your emotions are attached to this person, and your emotions are trying to grieve something that never was. And it doesn't make sense logically. And that's why hypnosis really helps when things aren't making sense. But there's still that huge emotional element, because you can't resolve that with your conscious mind, that emotional part of things, because it doesn't even make sense. So you'll go to therapists forever, or you'll be stuck and not be able to get into a new relationship for a long time. And you'll still have that emotional element that you might even be attached to the guy. And you might still love him because of your emotions, because your problem needs to be resolved at that subconscious level. You need to detach emotionally. You need to resolve everything emotionally at that level where you get attached, which is in your subconscious with your emotions. It's not even logical, because when you're feeling emotional, studies show that it hijacks your brain, and all the logic and the smart decisions go out the window. So you might not even be thinking clearly about things. And this is when hypnosis can also help. It'll help you neutralize those emotions. So like I said, you can turn your car alarm off so that you can go into the next relationship and you don't feel like everybody's lying, that the person's cheating on you. So that when you really do get a hit and your emotions are actually telling you something legit, you'll be able to pay attention to that because you've calmed those emotions. And then when you get those messages from your emotions, you can pay attention to those. And maybe it's not cheating for you, but there's some other type of trigger, some other area in your life where you feel like your car alarm is going off all the time. And in that area, you need to calm your emotions. And if you haven't been able to do that logically, or by talking about it, or by thinking logically about it, you need to solve those emotions at the subconscious level so that you can calm all of those emotional alarms that are going off, because it's not pleasant when those alarms are going off all the time because you're projecting your past onto this new person or a new situation. And this new person or the situation is actually full of possibilities. And if you were able to calm your emotions and see things for what they really were, but be open to those messages, those legit messages from your emotions, because your emotions are one of the ways that your subconscious mind will speak to you. It's through those feelings that don't make sense, that come out of nowhere, these flashes of insight that can really help you. But if your alarm bells are going off all the time, you won't be able to hear it, those important messages through all that noise. So a good place to start is mindfulness. But if those alarms are going off all the time, mindfulness is difficult, even on sunny days. So you may need to neutralize those emotions first and get flat, and then start a practice of mindfulness where you watch yourself being in the moment. It's like you're watching a movie of yourself, experiencing whatever it is you're experiencing in that moment. What you're really experiencing, not what you're thinking about the past, the pain in the past, or some type of anxiety or stress in the future that may or may not come about. But you watch yourself being triggered by that. You watch yourself having those emotions. You watch how you push it away, or maybe you hold on to it and ruminate about it. And you want to see if you can let go of those thoughts. Just let them drift through your mind like clouds without holding on to them or pushing them away. And if you practice your mindfulness on sunny days when things are going well, then you can bring that practice to those stormy days when nothing's going well and your emotions are just swirling like a storm and you're on an emotional roller coaster. And those waves of emotions are so overwhelming. So what is that area for you where your car alarm, your emotions are going off all the time, where you can't distinguish a false alarm from a legitimate alarm, where your emotions are trying to tell you something and it's overwhelming and you can't distinguish what's real and what's legit from a false alarm? What is that area for you? And if you've figured this out, what helps you distinguish between a false alarm and a legit alarm? That message that tells you, that feeling that tells you that there's something that's actually happening here, that tells you that there's something wrong, that there's something actually going on here that you need to pay attention to. DM me or let me know in the comments. What is that area for you?